Today we're going to talk about weight loss, and with us right now we have Stephanie Bachman, and you are the owner of Free to Be Me.
Yes.
And you also are certified in nutritional therapy, right? And what
Yes.
else?
Sports and exercise, nutrition, and weight loss.
Well, the big thing here is you lost around 50 pounds about 7 years ago.
I did.
Right?
Yes.
And then you decided to start this business, but there were some other issues that had you looking into what you now use to help others with weight loss, and specifically with your children too, right?
Right. When my kids were little, they had about 23 different food allergies, and I really didn't know what to feed them. I did take them to a nutritionist, a chiropractor, a microbiologist, and he gave you a whole notebook of what you should feed them, which led me into nutrition, which is how I learned how to cook for them and get them more healthy because they were pretty sick.
Okay, so what is it? I mean, food is medicine, right?
It is, but not processed food
Aha.
and not refined sugars. So there's a diet, it's called CRAP, and that's what Americans eat. It's carbonated beverages, refined sugar, artificial colors and flavors, and processed foods.
Wow, okay.
So that's what's bringing on the obesity epidemic right now and metabolic syndrome.
And we really do have an epidemic.
We do.
So what led you to start Free to Be Me?
I was really overweight and I was very sick. I had to get biopsies, and after everything was said and done, they didn't find anything wrong with me, but I knew that if I didn't lose weight and get healthy, I wouldn't be around. Then I found a European diet. I did the diet, lost 50 pounds, but the best part was I got better. I'm not on any medication now. I'm not on anything at all. My energy is high. I can run around, do things that I couldn't do before because I was so overweight.
Yeah, I often hear, when you lose the weight and you become more healthy, that your body does help take care of itself and you don't have to be on, some of the medications or have some of the illnesses, correct?
Yeah, that's so correct. Because if you're eating what your body needs, not only will your body heal itself, it doesn't want the things that make you feel nasty. And I was so sick that I didn't know how sick I was until I got better. And then when I got better and went off medications, I was like, wow. And then when I was able to keep the weight off by eating healthy and eating yummy foods, we always think that a diet is bland, tasteless foods, and it's not. I've done cooking classes, written cookbooks. Food is delicious. You just have to eat the right food.
Yeah, and that really is what it's all about. So if you were to kind of put this in a nutshell, what have you really learned about the types of foods that we should be eating?
Well, the foods that grow outside. If you can't pronounce a label, don't put it in your mouth because it's going to be terrible for you and it's going to adversely affect you. Fresh vegetables are full of things to keep the pests away and to keep when they're growing you eat them and they're not genetically modified, they're so good for you that they actually bring healing to your body. Fresh fruits, fresh vegetables, organic meats that aren't injected with hormones, farm fresh eggs. And in Lancaster County, it's so easy to eat well because there are so many fruit stands that have nothing to do with pesticides and the food is actually good for you.
Now, when you talk about this diet, there are some certain parameters and you go through a pathway with this too. Just briefly, how does it work?
Well, you start 2 days and you eat an immense amount of food, between 3,500 and 5,000 calories.
Okay.
And then you go down to a low-calorie diet. It's very specific, but what it does is it detoxes your system. So for at least 21 days you stay on your diet because you have a gland in the back of your head, it's called your hypothalamus. There are two parts to that, and the one part controls your endocrine system, your adrenal glands, but most importantly your hormones. When your hormones get out of balance, you gain weight. Insulin will spike. Whenever insulin spikes, insulin is what takes your food and turns it into glucose, which you need for your body. When that spikes, it stores fat. That's what it does. Your hunger hormone kicks in and you're starving because your full hormone, you don't even know that it's there anymore because it stops working. And that's how Americans are getting overweight. And it really does come from processed foods. And they put these things in them called excitotoxins. Excitotoxins actually go to your brain and make you want more of them.
Wow. So when you do the diet, how long of a period are you on a diet before you come back to?
I hate to call it a diet
Well,
because
what do we
diet
call
has
it
the
then?
word die in it.
Okay.
Who wants to die from food?
What do we want to call it then?
Lifestyle change.
Okay, so a lifestyle change.
So when you start the lifestyle change, the very specific diet that has a cookbook with it
Okay.
is at least 21 days, all the way up to 40 days or 35 pounds, whichever comes first. And then I follow you all through that, and then we go into a maintenance phase of the diet. Every person is made differently, and I don't know any other diet that lifestyle change that
Right.
does this.
I was gonna say.
Is everybody has been made differently, so everybody's going to process food differently, and the key and goal to weight loss and happy, healthy lives is figuring out what makes you gain different from what makes me gain. So in the maintenance part of the program, we begin to figure that part out.
And there is a psychology to weight
There
loss,
is
right?
a psychology to weight loss. In your brain, they did this study with rats, and so they had a bowl of cocaine water, and they got these rats addicted to cocaine on. And then they had a bowl of sugar water. And even though the rats were addicted to cocaine, they all went to the sugar water and
Wow.
drank the sugar water because that's how strong that is. The exact same thing that would addict you in the brain, it's called the opiate effect. Opium is the same thing that sugar does to your brain. You just want it so bad that you can't stand it. So the whole lifestyle change is getting sugar out of your diet and using stevia or maybe some honey or pure maple syrup. But
Okay.
what you really want to do is get that sugar out so you don't crave it so much.
Yeah, we're going to